Hey guys, as usual, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Feel free to check out any of my other videos, whether it's Mandalorian reviews, Kenobi reviews, more Andor reviews, Book of Boba Fett reviews, or my sequel fan reimagination, we'll call it today. Anyway, so let's get into this Andor episode 10. I did mention when I did my episode 9 review that the setup in 9 appeared to show that this episode was going to be quite good. The setup in 9 was solid. It was a pretty good episode. The previous 8 episodes should have been condensed into about 3 episodes. They were completely drawn out and boring and just a total waste of time. So, opening scene, Andor and Kino, I think is Andy Serkis' character, are having sort of a debate, and Andor, it's very heated, very well acted. Andor convinces him that they need to break out of this prison immediately before the Empire fortifies or changes things as they find out that the prisoners know what they did and how they killed a bunch of them and stuff. So, very well done, and then not drawn out. It was to the point and concise and deliberate. And then Serkis or Kino announces to the floor that he's sort of the manager of that they're all going to die in prison if they don't get out of there, and then they need to start brainstorming of how to break out. What they didn't do is they didn't do a 30-minute long dialogue diatribe about them making their plans to break out, which is kind of how this show has been. And they didn't do that, which was very good. I didn't need to see that. And that's kind of what they've been doing a lot in this show. So that was good. Then we get a scene with Mon Mothma where she's talking to this rich guy about how to get her money out, how to get her family fortune out without the Empire noticing, because they've got these laws now that you can't just take it out or whatever. Like I've said all along, again, the previous 8 episodes, I mean, we've had something like 25 scenes or something like that of Mon Mothma going on about how she's going to get her money out before finally getting to this point where she's meeting this guy. And that's the problem with this show. This is interesting. Finally, you're getting something interesting with Mon Mothma. She spent literally the entirety of this show doing nothing and just these scenes that are completely pointless and basically just like the same scenes over and over and over again of her pining and, oh, and what are we going to do? And talking to her friend about how are we going to find somebody. That is the problem with this show. And that's why a lot of people gave up on it. So, but then we found out that the fee that this guy wants her to pay for this service, for him doing this job for her, isn't monetary. He wants his 14-year-old son to essentially court Mothma's daughter. I guess this is like an arranged marriage thing that like rich people in the galaxy had been doing for a long time. Mon Mothma just does not approve. Obviously, it's kind of weird. They're pretty young, first of all, and it's just weird. Then they showed a guy tightening his boots. One of the guys said, and I mentioned in a tweet, they look like Reebok pumps, and it looked like he was pumping them up. I just thought that was kind of funny to throw in there. Those are poorly designed shoes and outfits, period, on the prison guards. But anyways, so the prison break scene is really well done. They use the water and all that stuff to circuit the system, and/or burst the pipe in the bathroom and stuff, and then once they're out, a bunch of them die, a bunch of them get shot. But once they're out, all the floors, they grab all the blasters that all the prison guards were using, and then they grab the ones that are in the gun racks, I guess. And then Andor and Kino reach the control room, and they shut down all the power so the guys can't get electrocuted anymore. And then Kino speaks to the prison from the control room, instructing them what to do. And again, really well done, really to the point, succinct, deliberate, well acted, just a great scene, period. Really good. Certainly the best one in this show. One of the best ones in any of the Star Wars shows that they put out, because most of them are totally make no sense. This one did. Then you get this shot of the remaining guards that haven't been shot, all huddled together, hiding in a corner room with the lights off, because they're so outnumbered, right? There's 5,000 prisoners, and there's only 12 guards per floor, so something like 8 times 12, what was that, 96. So that was cool. And then the prisoners have to jump and swim to freedom, but Kino tells Andor he can't swim before Andor gets pushed out. So Kino helps him get all the way to this point knowing he can't swim, and then he's like, I can't swim. And then this Andor kind of gets shoved off the ledge with all the other guys, and you don't ever actually find out if Kino survives, which kind of sucks. I would have liked to have seen them show some way that he survives at the end of the episode, rather than just showing Andor and the one guy running after they make it to shore. They didn't. That's my criticism. I would have liked to have seen that, because I have to think he's going to survive. His character had a big impact on people. It's actually, the show started to get good when his character came in, and everybody's watching the show really likes him. So I have to believe he does remain alive. They'll pull him out, whether it's in season 2 or later this season. But it would have been nice to see that. whatever. Maybe they have their reasons, right? From a story standpoint, leave us in suspense over whether or not this guy survived. I get that. And then we find out that Luthen has an Empire connection who works directly with Resting Bitchface. He's one of the. He's not an admiral, but he's in the room and he's in the conference room scenes and stuff like that. He's going up this elevator and he's got an earpiece on, and Luthen's talking to him through the earpiece, saying, "Oh, I know you have a kid now," and blah 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 blah, almost in a semi-threatening way. And he warns. So this guy, he warns Luthen about Resting Bitchface and how she's going to find out what's going on, and she's investigating and making connections. And you find out that he's a mole, and he's been feeding the rebellion information for 6 years, and he's basically begging Luthen to let him out so he can go live his life. He's got a kid, he's all scared, and Luthen won't let him out. And it's interesting the way they film this, because the officer guy, he stays in the elevator the entire time. So the elevator stops at the top after Luthen's been talking to him kind of obnoxiously and threatening almost. And then there's just a platform with no railings or anything, and Luthen's standing on that. And this guy stays in the elevator the entire time. He's obviously scared. He thinks Luthen's going to do something, maybe kill him, whatever. And so you get the impression, like I was saying after the first or second episode in my review, that Luthen's going to be kind of a bad guy. I don't see him as being a good guy in all this. And now we're starting to see that that's the truth. That he is very much bad in a lot of ways, and he does a lot of things he says he doesn't want to do, but he has to do, even though they're kind of bad. And, whether that's not warning people that they're going to die because, the greater cause, right? Which is interesting. I would have, probably preferred that this role was taken on by Mon Mothma herself, but then it would be different, I guess. Because her role right now is boring. It really has been piss poor. It's actually disappointing, because Luthen is a cool character and gets all these scenes that are so important to the cause, and Mon Mothma gets these, just drawn out, how do I get my money out, boring, dumb scenes, and she's not really that important. And Bail, I don't think Bail, have we even seen him in this show yet? So I thought he maybe would do this role, maybe, right, instead of this Luthen character. But I guess it's like I predicted in episode 2 or whatever, they want him to be like kind of like a bad guy. And in the end, I think he's going to be a total bad guy in the end. They couldn't use Bail, they couldn't use Mothma maybe for that role, because they wouldn't be bad guys in the end, and maybe it would be too predictable. And that's fine if that's the case. That's, from a writing standpoint, there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, this show has gotten good now. Again, the first 8 episodes were so bad. I said after 9, I said they should have just started right off the hop with the dam episode, blowing up the dam. Just start with that. Don't explain too much. Just get right into that and do that. But they didn't. And the scenes were very convoluted up to now. Now they're making more sense. Their writing seems to be more on point, and it almost feels like the first 8 episodes, they weren't really sure where they were going as they were writing them. And then they finally the light went off, but the studio still decided to shoot all the details of those first 8 episodes. That's what it feels like to me. And so it is getting good now. We'll see if they can keep up the momentum. There's 2 episodes left. See what they do. It'll be interesting. We've kind of back to square one now, because they're out of prison and everything's kind of where it was before, other than Resting Bitchface, who didn't get a scene in this episode, so they didn't really set up anything yet for that, and her investigation. So we'll see where it goes. But either way, guys, it wasn't bad. If you can muscle your way through the first 8 episodes, the last 2 have been good. I don't know if it's really worth it, because they're long and boring. So if you don't feel like it, don't. But these last 2 are pretty good anyways. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and have a good day.